5, 4. Hello everyone, and welcome to the official review on my channel, MovieManCHAD's channel, of X-Men Days of Future Past. And I'm happy to share it with one of my best friends, Derek Easley, Derek Easley Vlogs, writer, producer, director, also president of
the Long Beach Acting and Film Association, or chairman, have your own way.
Chairman, whatever, you know, the same damn thing. Ruined everything. Christmas is now officially moved to December 26th.
Terrible.
Anyways,
He's a good-looking guy.
So I love this guy. I'm glad to see this movie with him tonight. I also have here on my third time I've had my cousin with me. This is my cousin Richard, cousin Rich, and we've seen another big film together. We actually this is the second movie we've actually all seen together because we saw Transcendence. We saw you at the premiere of Transcendence.
Yeah, that was good.
Would you say that this was the most anticipated movie this summer, or it's definitely up there?
Well, with Godzilla coming, and I would say Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, kind of excited about that. Yeah, this was
Transformers.
Transformers is a big one.
This was probably, out of all these, Godzilla was probably the first, and this was definitely the second big blockbuster film that I was looking forward to coming out this summer.
The theater we went to was sold out, you know?
Yeah. Sold out?
Yeah, it was sold out.
I was glad you came too, because usually we don't see these movies. We usually get to see these movies way before.
He was fashionably late, rolled right in as the credits were about to roll up.
Unfortunately, there wasn't a West Coast premiere. I won't get too ingrained in the media story of what's going on, but you know, I do media for a company called GameFob Network, and we were covering the 20th Century Fox panel at WonderCon in Anaheim, and they kind of canceled the actors and people coming out for X-Men Days of Future Past because of controversy surrounding it, and then there wasn't a West Coast premiere, unfortunately. There was a New York premiere with very limited press there, but very limited screenings, but very good word of mouth, good buzz, and I think we all enjoyed it, right, Chad? What'd you think?
Well, first off, I want to say that I am glad that Bryan Singer returned to the franchise, even before I saw the movie, because he, of course, kind of ignited this whole love of comic book movies again. Superhero movies again. Of course, we had some in the late 90s with Blade, of course in the 70s with one of the greatest superhero movie ever made.
Late 80s with Tim Burton.
Yeah. So we had Batman, Superman, all that stuff. That's what I'm getting at. So, yeah, I was really excited that the man that kind of helped create all this stuff with
the modern movement,
the modern movement with X-Men and X2 has had a chance to return to this sequel, prequel, reimagining, reboot. Because go ahead.
What's interesting is that, you know, you're really right. Pretty much everyone agrees that they love what he did with X1 and X2, and then he didn't do X3 because he went on to do his labor of love, Superman Returns.
Yes.
And then X3 was given to
Brett Ratner.
And pretty much everyone from the comic book world kind of agreed that X3 was kind of a dud. Critically, it did make a lot of money. And then, of course, reviews are very mixed about Superman Returns, it being a soft sequel to Superman 1 and 2. So as far as Bryan Singer's superhero legacy, I don't want to say it's been tarnished, or like his last effort was kind of like So now it's kind of interesting that he comes back really strong, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just glad he's come back, because he has been a producer for the First Class movie. He did come back as a producer for the First Class movie, but it's cool that he's come to direct it, and we'll see where it goes from there. You know, I don't want to talk about the controversy that's going on right now. I just really want to talk about the movie. So yeah, I was really excited to see this because everybody comes back, and there's a laundry list of all the people that we know from First Class and from X-Men itself that we all see. Of course, it's the big star of the movie is Hugh Jackman and Michael Fassbender and James McAvoy. Those are the big stars of the film, but we get to see everybody, and Jennifer Lawrence, can't forget Jennifer Lawrence.
Yes.
But there's a lot of people...
Hot off her Hunger Games.
There's a lot of big extended cameos of people that have been in all the previous films.
I'm not gonna lie, that the whole scene, her accentuated in her blue flesh, is definitely a bonus every time I go to see it.
Yeah, they definitely upped her role too, as far as, you know, the action scenes with her, and just like, you know,
and they upped the size, I think, too.
She's just a very beautiful woman. And that was, you know, one of the main reasons to see the film. But as a movie, as an X-Men movie, as a superhero movie, comic book movie, for me, it's one of the best, I think, recently in the last 15 years. And up there is one of my favorites of all time. So I think it was just really an extremely fun movie, a great summer movie, a great revamp. I don't want to give away any spoilers here, but a great revamp of the series itself. And go see the movie, you're going to find out why. So yeah, I just thought it was excellent. I'm glad a lot of people that returned from X2. We got John Ottman, who's a guy that's worked with Bryan Singer as a score and an editor for most of his career. So he returned to the series. So we get to hear that theme from X2. There's that theme they shoehorn it in a bunch of times.
Right.
And I just like the energy. And I have to say, I loved the story because I know that I believe that it's based on a comic book called Days of Future Past.
It changed a lot of. Did you like did you like Peter Dinklage in this? Do you watch Game of Thrones?
Yeah, oh, I love him.
Yeah.
Oh, he's one of my favorite actors. Seriously, I mean, there's no better in Hollywood.
Little person.
You think he did a good job as Trask?
Little person.
Yeah. I think he really. He's a really great character actor. I mean, everything you see him in, he really gets you, he really gets you absorbed. And he's one of those actors that he can play anything that he plays, and he's pretty much in character. Like a lot of that are, small people,
little people,
they just don't click. You know, I don't know. They just don't have what he has, and I think that's why you see him in steady roles. I mean, he's pretty much the leader of the little people in Hollywood. I think he is the head.
He's definitely proved that you can be little and be a successful
Absolutely,
actor.
He's the biggest little person in Hollywood. It used to be Mini-Me, but
no, it used to be Billy Barty.
Which is Mini-Me.
We're off topic.
No, we're off topic.
Tripod.
No. What I like is that they didn't mention his height once in the movie, and then there was one scene where he's actually explaining his motivations, and he doesn't actually hate the mutants, he admires them, and he's part of a thing that's going to cause this war in this horrible future.
And you're thinking about the senator,
Sentinels.
right? And he fires back at him.
No. The scene where he's talking to
the senator.
No. It's where they're doing the shipping containers and stuff, and he's explaining his motivations, and it comes off as wow, it's almost almost like Edward Norton explaining his racism in American History X. It's a very genuine scene that shows you a bad guy, and you see why they're bad. You know what I mean? So I thought he did really good. Did you like the X-Men of the future? Did you like seeing Warpath and Colossus?
Oh, absolutely,
and all them?
Bishop was. We were talking earlier. I wish we could have seen a little bit more of the stable that Marvel is sitting on right now. But the ones that you do see get you really excited, and I really hope they keep those same actors throughout it, because the guys that were in the ones that had small cameos, I would really like to see those fleshed out, obviously, because we already know from being lifelong comic book fans, obviously, if you're going to this movie, that's what you're really going to see, is kind of the pages come to life. And what I got out of it was I love storytelling, and I think obviously those of you that watch this and you come to see these comments every week, it's really about the stories that you're really wanting to know if it's worth your while to go see. And I have to say, there's almost probably nobody better than Stan Lee in the storytelling business. And just to think that we have literally a lifetime ahead of us of more movies to go to. And I'm telling you, you go see this and you're going to realize that they're just getting better and better and better. Yeah. And I mean, the more CGI, sadly, the more CGI we get and advancements in technology, it's going to get better. You're going to finally just go, oh my gosh, seriously.
Well, as long as they're able to use it, coupled with the practical and the real actors,
totally,
which they did a pretty good job in this. And Simon Kinberg wrote this one as well and helped produce it, and he's worked on other X-Men and superhero stuff before, so I like that. Just a brief opinion for me for other X-Men movies. I loved X1 and X2 and First Class, but I really felt like X3 and the two Wolverine movies had some missteps. And this one, if you have problems with those movies, go see this movie, because it kind of renews your faith in the X-Men franchise. They've already greenlit Age of Apocalypse. And we'll see what happens with Bryan Singer, if he's able to stay attached to it or whatever, but I'm hoping, 20th Century Fox is trying to compete with Marvel Disney with the stable of Avengers movies, so I'm hoping they can pump out more X-Men movies at this high quality, at a higher frequency, and they have kind of two casts and two timelines to play with now, so it's good.
And it was really balanced out, because X-Men is got this world of so many characters.
So many.
And I think this movie did a really good job to balance it all out. Of course, we get to know more than others, but it was kind of cool, some cool hints. And I think a lot of people were worried about this Quicksilver guy and the way he looked and everything. he was probably my favorite aspect of the movie.
Yeah,
and I want to say right now, I wish there was more, and that was great because, you know, less is more, and I just felt like I wanted more, but it was still cool that he was a part of that film. He was such an asset to the movie.
What didn't work, I think, a lot were in these still photos with like the weird silver hair and the cheesy jacket and the Pink Floyd shirt, and so just seeing out of context, and in the Carl's Jr. commercial, a lot of people were like, "Who's this Quicksilver guy? What is this?" But once you see him in his first scene, you see that he's a rambunctious kid. He steals things, you know. His mom thinks he's in trouble, you know. And you get to see his personality, and he's running around interacting with our leads. You really fall in love with him real quick, and he's got some amazing action sequences.
Yeah.
And totally fits. The way he looks, the way he moves, the way he talks is, I agree with Chad, probably one of the best parts of the movie.
All right, final thoughts and your rating.
Hold on. One other thing I want to say is, and for you comic book activists out there, like hitting back on a little bit what he said earlier, there's a couple different franchises that own different parts of Marvel's, you know, repertoire. And what you guys need to do out there is you need to blog the hell out of the different studios and tell them that we want to see Avengers with X-Men come together, because, like, I want to see Hugh Jackman and I want to see Robert Downey Jr. on the same screen, and I think everybody else does too.
This is not a plot spoiler, but in Amazing Spider-Man 2, they did do some type of linkage with this movie.
Yeah, just by giving like a little commercial.
A commercial, yeah. And some people talked about how that's because Mark Webb had some type of contractual thing with Sony, but that gave you a hint that maybe you could have some type of Spider-Man X-Men connection.
Money talks, people, and so if they know they're going to make $1 billion off of a crossover, the studios will hold hands.
I'd love to see it.
I want to see it.
Yeah, after watching this movie, I would love to see this because I love this film more than it was a better film than Avengers. I'm just going to put it right out there.
Oh, cool.
This is a much better film than Avengers. It just had a better story, and it did a great job of making all these characters come together. All right, Ricky, Cousin Rick, your final words and your rating.
Final words. I'm definitely going to give this 4 fingers out of 5. And the reason I go with that is definitely because the cast is the same one I love, and I've loved since the first. And you do get to see a little bit of cameo. And
spoiler alert.
Well, she's in one of the things. Okay, sorry. So anyways, I want to say it's 4 out of 5 fingers, and it was awesome, and I think everybody will come out loving it, and I'm sure you'll be adding it to your DVD collection.
All right, go ahead, Derek.
Yeah, I'd give it a 85% out of 100%. I think maybe Godzilla is still my favorite blockbuster movie so far this year. But I really enjoyed this movie. Especially with, you know, hopefully set up for future X-Men films, and, you know, it gives you a lot of kind of optimism and hope, and I think they did a really good job with, you know, the Xavier and Magneto characters are great in both time periods, with both sets of actors. I think they did a great job kind of tying everyone together and creating opportunity for the future, and I'm just... you know a movie's good when you walk out and you're like, dang it, I want more, you know, so that's what I felt
Stay till the end, that's all I'm going to say. Stay till the end after the credits.
Yeah.
All right, I have to say thanks that I'm glad that, again, Bryan Singer could return to this franchise. He helped build this franchise as a movie.
Director.
As a movie, and I like that the cast got together. I like that this movie is definitely X-Men 7, but it's also a side sequel to the prequels. It's also a sequel to X-Men 1, 2, and 3. It's also part of it's like it's
Can I
all
ask you a
these.
quick question?
Yeah.
I felt other movies have been too Wolverine loaded. Do you think this one had a better balance because you had the 2 sets? Of the Professor
I felt it was a better balance
and
because
then they
we've
gave
got
Mystique a bigger role.
Yeah, because I think 4 actors really are the stars of this movie. As I said before, we got Fassbender, McAvoy, Lawrence, and Jackman. They are the 4 stars, and they all get equal time. And it's nice that we get all these other things sprinkled out throughout. And as you said before, you're bringing up all these names of X-Men that I've never heard before in my life.
Something that's kind of cool and unique to these movies too that you don't see a lot of is that you actually have 2 sets of actors for both Xavier and Magneto.
Yeah, Patrick Stewart.
And they've been in the previous ones as well. And I got to from First Class, and I love both sets of actors.
Yeah, it's amazing that all these people are alive and well. They can all come together, and it's going to be remembered for that. It's definitely remembered for that when all these people are gone from this world. So I appreciate it. There's a little time capsule right there. Bring up these two universes, and for film fans like myself, it's just a treat. It's a treat. I'm not a comic book guy. I couldn't tell you who was who and what was what. I just remember because of the X-Men movies, and they do a good job. For the comic book fans and for the movie fan, they do a great job as well. And for that, I'm going to close out with my rating of the film. I'm going to give this film a solid 4 stars out of 4. One of the best films of the year. Go ahead.
Please donate to him some comic books, because he keeps telling you people that he has not read them, and I tried to get him as a kid to read them, and I think now he will if his fans tell him he needs to read
You
them.
can buy them from my comic book store, cheapgraphicnovels.com.
There you go.
MovieManCHAD.
There you
Pulp
go.
Fiction in Long Beach and Culver City.
All right, so I'm MovieManCHAD. This is Derek Easley. Tell them what you can check out.
Yeah, you can
Derek.
check me out on IMDb at Derek Easley. You can find me at Long Beach Acting and Film Association on Facebook or LBAFA.org, or you can find my articles on the GameFob network at GameFob.com.
We had another friend just pass by right now. Say goodbye.
Or you can find me on Twitter at Fortress of Derek. Boom.
And where can they find you, Cousin Rick?
You can find me at LinkedIn at Rick Gleason and 420 Media.
Awesome. And of course, thank you so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, subscribe to my channel. I'm also on Twitter and I'm on Facebook. And please go to WeLiveFilm.com and subscribe right here on YouTube to We Live Film. Also go to Long Beach Acting and Film Association right here on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Please also go to MoviePod.com. And if you've enjoyed this video review, I really appreciate if you subscribe to my channel. I appreciate it, man. It's been a really great adventure. I've been doing this for over almost 2.5 years, hanging out with friends, meeting new people. It's been an amazing adventure, and I just hope it continues for as long as I live, as I almost get emotional right now.
X-Men.
X-Men. Days of Future Past in theaters right now. Check it out. And hopefully soon we'll get X-Men.
Age of Apocalypse.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Okay, there you go. I didn't know
Blue
that.
people.
We finally get off-world. Marvel's letting us go off-planet. I can't wait.
And I can't wait to see you at my next movie review. Done. Peace. Peace out, my friends.
Right on.